Hello, and welcome to this week's Profit Maximizing Moment. This show is dedicated to helping business owners dramatically improve their bottom line with our weekly profit maximizing tips that you can use now. I'm your host and coach, Wayne Belisle. I'm also the founder of a local CPA firm that works with business owners to help them make more money and keep more of it from the IRS. I do this with our profit coaching programs, with our tax planning systems that have saved my clients over $6.8 million over the last 5 years. All legally. Love my clients, like I say every week, but I don't want to share a jail cell with them. Today, we're going to be talking about the 10 secrets to increasing profits now. But first, support for today's show comes from Profit Maximizing Publishing, which published, whatever. I always have trouble with this. There we go. Let's keep it steady. And what did I just do? Bear with me. I think I just knocked myself out. That's what happens when you hit the keyboard. Hey, we're back. All right, which published my book, The 90-Day Profit Reset, which shows you how to gain your independence from reduced cash flow, shrinking margins, and an evaporating customer base. In this book, you'll find chapter after chapter, idea after idea about how you can turn around your business, reset your profits from red to black in 90 days or fewer. Even entrepreneurs who are making tons of money can benefit from this book. Look, matter of fact, a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about is I'm going to go through it pretty fast because there's a lot of stuff here. But you can get a lot more detail on all these subjects inside the book. And I designed the book to be, I was going to write a book forever. Finally decided when COVID hit, I could see that once we got past all the stimulus money, we were going to be running into trouble, which we are. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, you all are seeing it. It's harder to get people. Things cost you more if you can even get it. We're all being challenged. All right. So it's very simple. So what we need to do as business owners is we need to really tighten up and get our act together. So let's talk about that. One of the most common complaints I'm hearing even now, but I heard it before from business owners, is I'm working harder, making less. When I question them, they often tell me they've increased their sales, but are still making less money because of the reasons I just talked about. They're being squeezed. They're being squeezed by payroll cost and product cost. Without even looking at their books, are asking them many questions. I know that's the problem. Their gross profits are usually dipping. All right. Sadly, few business owners figure out what is happening because they're so focused on sales, not profits. The key to improve it is to improve profits before you increase sales so that more of that increase in sale goes down to your bottom line. I usually have the first 10 things I look at. I'm going to cover here because these are the first things I look at when I'm coaching. All right. So first thing, increase prices. The decision to raise prices can be a tough one, especially in tough times. All right. But my experience coaching many people is in various industries is that most businesses are charging much less than they could or should. This directly affects their customers, their employees, and their profits. Once you decide to increase your prices, how you increase can have a tremendous effect on both your cash and your bottom line profits. Two companies in the same industry raising prices at the same time can experience tremendously different results. So before you adjust your prices, consider things. How do your customers perceive the value of your product or services? And here are some things to consider. Should you raise prices? What is the reason for raising prices? Don't tell me costs are going up. That's not really going to work. Determine the amount of the increase. Consider the ramifications, both pro and con of raising your prices, planning the price increase, and announcing or not announcing it. All right. A lot of times doctors raise their fees. They don't tell you they did. Improve your gross profit. What is gross profit? Gross profit is your sales minus your cost of goods or the cost of providing the service. All right. That's your gross profit. All right. The number one question I hear from new consulting clients is, how do I increase sales? I always say, why do you want to increase sales? And they look at me like I'm an idiot or not. And I push them a little bit. They finally get to, they want to put more money in their bank account, or they want to make more profit. See, that's the key. Now I get them to understand what they really want is an increase in profits, not an increase in sales. Their question shows that most business owners, like I said, think about sales. Yes, increasing sales is important. All right. But you need to take the time and investment and energy and money to make sure that you're heading your gross profits as much as possible. Inside the book, I have one of the things that's in the back of the book is 55 ways, my coaching checklist, 55 ways to increase your profit margins. This is basically the same one I used when I'm coaching. All right. Number 3, market your cash cows. Before you can do this, though, you need to know what your gross profit is by product or by delivery. All right. Hire a good CPA to help you. I have a story I tell on this at a Mexican food restaurant that I gave them this exercise. I said, figure out what it costs you to produce that every item on your menu. And they looked at me like, no, can't do that. That's too many items. So, all right, take your top 10 sellers and do those. We set an appointment time for like 2-3 weeks later, and they came back and they had done every item on the menu. And I asked them what happened. I thought you said it was too many. I said, well, as we were doing it, we saw how much we didn't know. We made assumptions that we were making a lot of money on one item that we really weren't. We were making more on the items we weren't pushing. Key. Figure out which products you're making the most money on. Sell those more. All right. Create bundles. Number 4. Bundling is a great way to increase the sales to current customers by combining your products or services in a way that solves the majority of your customers' problems. The goal is to be a one-stop shop that allows them to get everything they need from you. All right. Think about car washes that sell multi-wash or family passes at lower prices, or get as many as you want for a month. Furniture stores that sell cleaning products, pillows, linens, electronic stores that offer warranties, fast food restaurants and their combo deals. I mean, they make money on that. Our CPA firm does that. We offer a lot of services that are combined that are better than if you did it. 5, create new products. Fastest way to increase sales and profits is to sell more to your current customers. All right. I did it. We do tax planning. We add quite a bit of money to our practice because we sell tax planning. All right. Now, in truth, nobody would buy it unless we were actually a value. So we're actually helping our clients. Like I said, we saved them over 6.8 million. I think is the number. I need to update that number because I think it's over 7 now. But we saved them quite a bit of money over a period of time where they can literally do well. That they can take that money that we saved them and put it in their business. So look for products like that. All right. It seems obvious, doesn't it? Ask your customers, though, if you want to figure it out, what would they be willing to pay for that you're not already doing for them? All right. If better way, I don't really like what I just said. Ask them what problems they're running into, and what are their pain points. And once you figure out what their problems are, the follow-up question really kind of is, if I had a solution for that, would you be interested? Of course, they're going to say yes. And how much would you be willing to spend to eliminate that problem? And if you see you're starting to get, like I was, people come to us because they want tax planning, you start to see that that's consistent and design that product. Number 6, recurring revenue. New business owners quickly miss the consistency of a regular paycheck. Every business has cash flows and valleys. This creates stress when you're short of cash and can lead to excess spending when you're flush. Recurring revenue is something that comes in every month. All right. I'm not going to go into that, but in the book, I have a full chapter on that. The key to this is figuring out a way to have money coming in every month. And I remember a manufacturing firm I was working with where they were able to sell service contracts and things like that. He made a constant push. By the end of 3 years, I think, he was getting enough at the beginning of the month to pay all his overhead and salaries. Okay. So anything he sold on new contracts was gravy. All right. So it's kind of key. I can't spend a lot of time on it here because that's above the scope of here. But like I said, my book has a lot on there, and there is a coaching checklist in there on how to, 22 or 23, I forget how many ideas. It's in the appendix. There's a lot of good stuff in the appendix of the book that shows how to get recurring revenues. Number 7, cut your taxes. All right. Too many small business believe they hire a good tax preparer and that's the end of the day, and that'll lower their taxes. No. All right. First of all, most tax preparers aren't doing tax planning. Second of all, we do tax planning, and we don't do tax planning during tax season. When we're doing a tax return, my job is to take history, which I can't change that much. I don't have as many arrows in my quiver of what I can do, and make sure that I put it on the tax return correctly, following the law in a way that doesn't get you audited, and that I take advantage of everything I can. Tax planning is coming in before the end of the year and planning out your situation so that you can pay less. All right. So that's why you take tax planning seriously. You also call people before you actually do anything. I had a guy that took $500,000 on an IRA. If he'd called me, I would have been able to tell him how to get the money in a way where he could have, I'm not going to get into detail on that, but in a way it wouldn't have been taxable. Make sure you call your tax provider. Number 8. I use a 10% formula to thrive during economic times. What does that mean? All right. Business owners rightfully see their businesses being affected negatively by increased in federal and state taxes, tougher bank credit rules, increased audits by the IRS and state, customers who were more cautious with their money, and now the inflation, all right, and people getting nervous. So what most business owners do is they hunker down and play defense. They cut costs, cut employees, cut advertising, do more of the work themselves. But that may not be the correct thing to do when the economy is tough. When times are good and profits are easy, many business owners become a little lackadaisical about improving their business. When the economic landscape is tough, like it is now, there's no longer an option. In order to survive and even thrive in a tough economy, the business owner has to become a profit coach for his business. And if you're not good at it, you got to hire a profit coach, which is what we do. All right. Most business owners do not understand that there is a formula and a process to improving profits. I express the formula as follows. I want to have a 10%, when I sit down and coach, here's our goals. I want to have a 10% increase in qualified leads, people coming in the door. I want to have a 10% increase in the conversion of those leads into paying customers. I then want to have a 10% increase in the annual sales, average sales per customer. Add to that a 10% increase in the customer retention, which leads to dramatically, sometimes I've seen, if I can work on those 5 things that I just listed, I've seen 45 to 145%, probably 125% increase in sales without an extra dollar being spent on advertising. All right. Add to that a 10% decrease in cost of goods sold, or an increase in gross profits, and then a 10% decrease in product cost, overhead cost, and income tax. And what I'm looking at is a massive amount of increase in profit, all right, which goes to increasing cash flow. Owner compensation is not an accident as a result of a systematic improvement in each area of the profit formula. Most business owners, though, are so busy working in their business that they never seem to get around to working on improving them. Business owner should commit at least 4 hours per week to improving their business by following the profit formula and improving some part of it. This leads to probably the most important step that differentiates profitable businesses from non-profitable businesses. And I'm going to say this is number 9. You have to have a system and consistent action towards building a profitable business every week. Taking action on the wrong things is often worse than taking no action at all. All right. Successful owners take actions that increase their company profit value. They accomplish this by learning, understanding, and mastering the profit formula. Number 10, successful business owners set up a system that holds them accountable for change. That usually, most successful ones I've seen, usually that requires them to get a mentor, a coach, a consultant, a spouse, mastermind group, or a group of your peers. Their job is to make sure you stay focused, have a realistic timeline, and make consistent progress towards your goals. I have sat down and I remember doing a 90-day course where I had 8 people in it. Kind of weird. After 4 hired me to work with them to implement it. All right. And then 4 afterwards stayed, just went on their own. Now, all of them had a kind of jump. All right. They all kind of had an increase, but the ones that didn't stay with me kind of leveled off and went down a little bit. Now they still were higher than where they started. Whereas the ones that let me work with them every month continued to have, continued to have an increase. Now, what actually happened was it was just a matter of me them having to meet with me every month to sit down and say, here's what I've done since last month. Here's the things I ran into, and we tweaked their plan. So, it's really that simple. You can literally, if you follow those 10 things, and like I said, I went through them fast, get the book for $20. Kindle, I think it's like $4. It's a steal. All right. There's a lot of good information in there. And more importantly, if you think you need help increasing your profits, you need a profit coach, give me a call. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. You can get our office, 915-857-8158, and leave us a message. You can also email me, Wayne, WAYNE, at wjb-cpa.com. My name's there, but wjb-cpa.com. Send me an email. Yeah, it'll work. We'll get there. Until then, let's make this our most profitable year ever. We'll see you next week.